Just 3 years ago, Olga Klimenko barely knew anything about tuberculosis. That is, until a routine checkup changed her life. We can't know how many people around us have TB. Many just don't know their status yet. But even after her recovery, the fear of reinfection is never far away. There was a time I couldn't make myself get on public transport. I just couldn't. We're all doing it, whether we're coughing, sneezing, or just breathing out. Each of us is constantly exhaling thousands of tiny liquid droplets. Droplets that can spread the common cold, but also tuberculosis. That's what makes it such a feared disease. I was praying that it was cancer, anything but TB. When I got that diagnosis, it felt like my life was over. I packed my things for hospital and said goodbye to my friends. That is, the friends who stuck by me. Lots of people had just disappeared from my life. That happens to everyone who gets TB. Olha takes us to a closed hospital for TB patients on the edge of the capital, Kiev. Visiting the patients, even for just a couple of minutes, means taking extensive precautions. Since her own recovery, Olha has dedicated herself to fighting for better care for Ukraine's tuberculosis patients. We head to the most secure part of the hospital. Vasil is 68 and has multi-resistant TB. Standard antibiotic treatment isn't enough to beat the strains of the disease he carries. He too only discovered he was infected by chance. We had a routine checkup at work. They took an X-ray and found a problem. I had no symptoms at all. I didn't realize anything was wrong. Vasil's treatment will take longer, and his chances of a full recovery are lower than for those patients with conventional strains of TB. More than a quarter of TB cases seen in Ukraine are multi-resistant. That's one of the highest incidences worldwide. Experts say that's down to many patients not completing their course of medication, and a health system that confines patients in close quarters, allowing them to infect one another. We join Olha on the children's ward. Many of these children were infected by their parents. Here in hospital, they have little in the way of distractions and no school. While recent years have seen big improvements in the medicines available to patients in Ukraine, Olha worries that's not enough. People with tuberculosis need help. They need support. It's not just about the drugs. A lot depends on patients' emotional state, whether or not they'll complete their course of medication, and whether or not they'll make a full recovery.